Now, joining me in the studio is Sharon Anyango Odhiambo of the Southern Voices Network for Peacebuilding and a scholar at Woodrow Wilson Center. Sharon, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you.
Now, Sharon, you are doing research on Kenya's election, and the campaigns are pretty heated up on all sides. And we hear of political tensions going on at this time among the voters. What's your perspective so far?
Okay, the tensions are there because right now we have the primaries that are coming up to a conclusion. So you find in the primaries, most politicians are seeking to get a seat because after you've gotten the party ticket, it's like an easy way to get to the ballot and win the elections. So for me, my perspective is that it will be a test of the institutions, especially the police and the judiciary, because we've had a lot of chaos that have been happening. So we really want to see what are the police doing, especially to these people who are causing riots in most polling stations. And also for the judiciary, there's been a lot of disputes regarding the primary elections. So it will be really interesting to see the time period they take to solve those pending issues.
Now, Sharon, you also focus on the role of the media in Kenya, and it plays a huge role in the election, as we've seen in the previous elections. What are your greatest concerns, and what do you expect of the media in Kenya?
First, let me start by appreciating the media. They have really learned a lot, basing from the experience in 2007. And one thing that I'll appreciate, especially they are doing right now, is that with social media, especially when the primaries were happening, there were a lot of results which were going around. But the media really stuck to ground and were reporting the results they had received from the polling stations. So I think the concern right now is going to be training. Last week when we still had the primaries, there were 2 newspapers which reported on the primaries and there was violence. So one really had a screenshot, there was fire that was happening, and the other one, it was just calm, but it reported in a better way. So I think there's more training on how they're going to communicate. You don't have to use the blurry pictures that are happening to communicate.
Now, Sharon, Kenya witnessed massive losses of lives and also displacement of peoples during the 2007 elections. And also we saw disputed elections in 2013. And of course, the ICC case was something that still, worries Kenyans. Is violence now a thing of the past, if looking forward to the coming election?
Okay, violence is not a thing of the past. Looking back at what happened at the primaries, and as I say it forward, it's something that it's going to be a test of the institutions that we really put in place and reformed during the 2010 Constitution. Major ones will be the police, who are tasked to arrest those people who are causing disorder in the polling stations, and also for the judiciary to prosecute those people who are found guilty.
So again, if you look at politics in Kenya, the issue of ethnicity, the tribal politics kind of rears its ugly head around this time. We saw that in the past. Do you think this time Kenyan voters have come of age, that this is not going to be the case? They will be looking at issues and who can deliver what Kenyans expect, the services that the country expects, rather than the personalities and which tribe they come from?
I think nothing has changed much. The situation is still the same. Looking from the coalitions that have been formed, it has majorly been like calculation. If we form a coalition with people from this community, what number of votes are they gonna bring? But one thing that impressed me during the primaries is that there's a person from the Kikuyu community, from the Luo community, who was elected as an MC in Wendani, a place whereby is mainly predominated by the Kikuyu people. So we hope that that trend will also happen in the elections, but I think it's time as a nation, as we are going forward, it's time to look at the ideologies of what politicians have to give the citizens instead of voting along tribal lines. It doesn't help.
In 10 seconds, Sharon, do you think Kenyans will rally behind whoever wins this election this time round without thinking this one is from my community?
I think they'll accept the outcome because there's a lot of peace messaging, especially from the public than from the politicians. So what you're praying for is a peaceful election, and I haven't had instances of where people are like communicating that they won't accept the elections. So we hope that the IEBC, it has faced challenges because a new commission was formed recently, a lot of court cases, and we hope that when they're given the mandate in August, they'll really give the public the trust that they handle the elections in a free and fair manner.
We wish Kenya the best this time. No violence and no fighting and no killing. Sharon, thank you so much. Sharon Anyango Odhiambo works with the Southern Voices Network for Peacebuilding and is a scholar at Woodrow Wilson Center.